Welcome to Life Partner by Casey Lee. This is The Dating Files, a segment where we look at real dating situations and the quiet moments that determine whether a relationship grows or slowly fades. These scenarios are shared for educational and reflective purposes, and they're often a composite of different experiences with identifying details changed. She met him and initially everything seemed promising. He was thoughtful, he asked good questions, he was consistent in his communication. And when they met in person, the date went well. Conversation flowed easily, there were no awkward pauses, he was attentive, respectful, and engaged. From the start, it looked like a solid start. And even internally, she didn't feel anxious. But she also didn't feel completely or deeply drawn in. Not in a way that made her curious to see him again. Not in a way that made her feel like something was building. It just stayed at the same level. After the date, she found herself thinking, he's a good guy. I should give this a chance. Maybe attraction grows. So she agreed to a second date, and then a third, and nothing went wrong. But nothing deepened either. The dynamic stayed consistent, but also flat. And this is where things can become confusing. Because when something is clearly not working, it's easier to walk away. But when something is just fine, it can be much harder to recognize that it's not right. At one point, she paused and asked herself, if nothing changes, would I want to continue this? And the answer quietly was no. Not because of something he did wrong, but because something essential wasn't there. This is where it's important to understand the difference between something being good and something being aligned. A connection can be respectful, consistent, even emotionally safe, and it still might not be the right fit. Because compatibility isn't just about whether someone is a good person. It's about whether your lives move in a similar direction, whether your energy meets in a way that builds, whether there's a natural sense of forward movement. Sometimes there isn't conflict, there's just a lack of momentum, and that lack of momentum is information. There's also another layer here. Sometimes physical attraction is present. Sometimes there's enough to make you think, this could grow. But physical attraction alone doesn't create a relationship. And even emotional availability on its own is not enough. What actually sustains a relationship is shared life goals, aligned values, and compatible lifestyles. Without those things, a connection can remain pleasant, but never fully become something deeper. In situations like this, the most grounded decision is not based on whether something is bad enough to leave. It's based on whether it's right enough to continue. And those are two very different standards. Before we close, if you're noticing patterns like this in your own dating life, where something looks right on the surface but doesn't fully align underneath, I created a free workshop where I walk through how to recognize compatibility more clearly, so that you're not second-guessing yourself in these situations or staying longer than you need to. You can find that link in the show notes. And for those of you who want to go a little deeper, quietly, I recorded a private continuation where I talk about what I'd say if you were my client, the part that we don't usually talk about publicly, and how to emotionally hold this week. That lives inside the members-only podcast feed, and you can learn more in the show notes. This conversation is complete as it is. I'm really glad you're here, and stay steady and aligned with the relationship that you want.